The US Justice Department has closed the last remaining investigations into the CIA's alleged torture tactics against its detainees after the 9/11 attacks without bringing charges. The cases involved 2 deaths in the agency's detention facilities in Iraq and Afghanistan. Well, let's discuss this now with Alison Weir from the US-based think tank, the Council for the National Interest, joining me live now from New York. Well, the investigation has lasted for around 5 years. Is this the end of the story now, with these 2 cases being dropped?
Well, it's the end for now. That's certainly what both the Bush and the Obama administrations hope will happen. That's what the powerful leadership in Washington, D.C. hopes will happen. I hope not. Many of us feel that this is not finished, that we are opposed to what went on, and that there should be true justice and true pursuit of justice going on, which we have not seen yet. But for now, I think this is, they've tried to stop it at this point.
What about those who take into account that this sort of thing is inevitable in times of military conflict, and these, of course, were unusual circumstances, the aftermath after 9/11?
Well, they were unusual, but there's still a rule of law that needs to be pursued. There are still people in the United States, as well as around the world, who are outraged at what's going on. But this has been this is still the George W. Bush administration's activities being carried on by the Obama administration actions as well. The lead prosecutor on this, John Dunham, was appointed by Mukasey, who was appointed under George W. Bush, who was one of the neocons, who was very, quote, anti-terror, anti-Islam in a number of respects. So we're seeing the same kind of thing going on under Obama. I think they did expect that a great many liberals especially, but conservatives too, would be outraged at this violation of the rule of law. And that's probably why this was announced, as you say, after, a number of years, that the announcement came the day before a major holiday in the United States, Labor Day holiday. I don't think that coincidence is by accident.
You also mentioned the number of years, and I mentioned the period of time. The criminal investigation was dropped, so they say, due to the difficulties in assembling evidence from incidents which did happen a long time ago in Iraq and Afghanistan. Is that not a reasonable excuse?
Well, part of the difficulty is because the CIA destroyed some of the tapes. That in itself is a criminal action. That itself should have been pursued. Hopefully will be pursued at some time. So the fact that there may be some difficulty in gathering evidence, we don't know that's really the case, but part of the difficulty certainly is because important evidence was destroyed.
You say sorry to interrupt, you say this could be pursued at some time, and you're saying this hopefully is not the end of the story. Well, clearly not the result you wanted in a US legal court. Could perhaps this be taken to an international court?
I'm not an international lawyer, so I don't know that. I expect that it could be. The U.S. is not a signatory, though, to a number of international proceedings. I don't know if that would play a role or not, but certainly I think that the American community and the international community has an obligation to pursue justice. People were killed, it appears, quite likely under interrogation techniques that were torture. This should not be permissible in a civilized world, no matter where it's done or who does it. And I hope that the American judicial system will.
And just briefly, sorry, because of our time delay there, just briefly, you'd say you'd like this to be pursued. At the end of the day, who is it really you want to see in court accountable for this? Those who carried out those tortures which led to the deaths, or those who ordered it? We're talking about government level now.
I want both. I feel those who ordered it are more significant and are more culpable, and it's more important to get those as well. Certainly those who carried them out have responsibility, but it's especially those who ordered them, those who covered it up, those who ordered the cover-up. They should be in court. We should be investigating them.
Alison Weir, thanks so much for your thoughts. Thank you for joining us live here on RT. It's good to hear what you have to say.